So this is the CoPilot edition of two guys you don't give a shit about driving in a Jeep, and we're actually driving this time. So I'm Pappy and Ronin is driving. So this is his own interview while he's driving on his own blog site, website, YouTube video. So we're gonna ask a series of questions, and we will demand answers as we're navigating the downtown St. Paul area. And I'll say, if you get down here in Uptown VFW, kick-ass place. So shout out to them guys.
Fish and chips and the shrimp po' boy.
Yeah, shrimp po' boy.
Yeah.
And the beers won't make you a po' boy. They got something going on every night. Karaoke, concerts. So, yep, great place to go, great cause. So question number one, Mr. Ronin.
So regimented.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how you got involved in volunteerism and what you think about it.
Well, I don't like talking while I'm driving.
Yeah,
Okay, volunteerism. How I got started, or a little bit about myself. Oh, there's the up down. That's
yeah, okay.
That's the '80s arcade.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Back to point. I'm not sure really when I got started. I've thought about it quite a bit because I'm very reflective. When I go to my inner sanctuary, I like to do some self-actualization.
Oh fuck.
But suffice to say that it might have started when I was in junior high school. I grew up in the Southern California area, and there was an earthquake while I was at school. And we, there was a little chaos, which you get with those kinds of things when it was of that magnitude. I think it was like a 6 point something. And then there's a very old
yeah,
podcast right there. It's,
wow.
Jeepers. Then I volunteered to be a runner. So people were coming up to parents were coming to the school to pick up their kids after the earthquake, make sure they were safe. And I would be the runner that would take the note from the parents at the gate and run it out and find the student and get them to their parents. And then eventually my parents showed up, which was surprising to me because my parents rarely showed up to anything. But they showed up to pick me up, and I refused to go with them because I was helping. That might have been when the shit started. There were also other factors in which my grandparents were very steeped in religion and pastoring, and they would always put others before themselves when it came to folks in need. And my mother as well, to some extent. She, whenever she had money, which is rare, back in those days, everybody trying to make money and stuff like that. But when she had money, if somebody needed something, she was always willing to help out. Or if I wanted a Moby Jack from Jack in the Box, that's dating me a little bit, but she had a spare dollar, whatever, she put it towards that. And I think probably those factors contributed to me having a passion for volunteering. And then I got into the service, one of the branches, the good one.
Yeah.
And I did 4 years there. And once I got out, I just had this insatiable hunger to continue to service as much as I could. And that came out wrong. Yeah. But a life of volunteerism, I put it akin to being a human. If I think it was Humphrey who said something about, like, if you're an able-bodied person, you've won the lottery, and it's onto you to share that wealth. So I kind of follow that line where it's not that I seek out volunteering. It's just something that is innate. It's innate in all of us, and we owe it to ourselves and everybody else to jump out there and volunteer as much as we can.
Yeah, I did. A wise guy that I know, and I think you know him as well. I thought I heard him say, whatever you do, as far as whatever volunteer that you do, whatever you put out, you get back twofold, in grace and gracias. And yeah,
I wonder who that wise man was.
Pretty smart damn guy, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So the other So the next thing that we want to sort of talk about is, that's right. So we want to hear a story or an anecdote, poignant or humorous, whatever you deem, from your relief experiences.
I have funny and racist
Nice.
ones.
We like this one already.
But I have so many. I dabbled with Relay for Life for a long time. I was on the committee, me and some other folks, in which we started the Bark for Life, with dogs or caregivers and stuff like that. I have anecdotes from that too, where I used to dress up as Bob Barker. There was a great friend of mine, Jalapeno, who would help me with setting that stuff up and moving that stuff forward. And then of course I have all the funny stuff from my time with Team Rubicon. I've done some time with The Mission Continues, done some stuff with Team Red, White, and Blue, also a couple of habitat builds, and All Hands, which is another nonprofit. And I think I'm going to stick with kind of a couple of things that are significant, and they kind of reinvigorate me when I'm down. When you spend a lot of time in a disaster zone, you get fatigued and stuff like that. You really want to be there for the homeowners and the community, but sometimes when you're day in and day out, you get a little broken. So a couple of things. One of them, which I just saw lately because I was just in Illinois for a tornado thing, is that that passion. I had a guy on my team who cut his hand, and you could also go back and talk about a buddy of ours in Missouri who cut his head while we were on site. And without any kind of hesitation or anything, their first thought is, how do I get back? How do I keep from leaving the disaster zone? How do I keep from not having to go to the doctor or get bandaged up?
That's true.
And I see that in the eyes of those folks, and it's just very moving to me to see that kind of thing. The other thing that I've seen working with volunteers is the lack of hesitation, where here in the real world or whatnot, we'll see somebody just stop on the side of the road, and our tendency would be to just kind of drive by and say, oh, somebody else will take care of that guy. But when you get together with these other badasses, and a few winters back, we were kind of snowed into Chicago. It was a conference of some sort, and we were driving around, because that's what we do when there's a blizzard coming in. We're driving around barely in this giant, Ford Mount Fuji or whatever they call those fucking things. We're driving around and we saw a mail truck stuck. Through rain, sleet, or snow, these fuckers are supposed to deliver the mail. This guy's stuck. But without hesitation, the truck came to a screeching halt, and we all jumped out of the fucking thing and pushed this guy out of the damn snowbank. And that is something that I think everybody should kind of reach outside their comfort zone and go experience that, because it's like a religious experience to see these people that just snap to when there's trouble, or they see something. They're not going to hesitate. Oh, do I say bless you because that person sneezed, or should I get the door for this? But no, you just go out there and do it.
Yeah, that's right. And if it makes you reticent or hesitant to do it as one, when there's 3 or 4 people, everybody's thinking the same thought, and it's just like you said, the old strength in numbers, man, it just becomes automatic. It's almost a race. Who gets to go be the first one there, It is an amazing thing, and you're exactly right. Everybody's got it in them, and it just takes a minute to get that out. So that segues into our third question, which is perfect. So everybody's got this in them. We've determined that everybody wants to do good, and everybody innately wants to help somebody. So if we've got somebody that's sitting on the fence to put their toe in the water with one of these organizations, they've heard of them and they know they're good. How do you get them? And we all, as volunteers, trying to get people to come help us and know that the feeling they're going to get. What's your advice on getting somebody to jump over to the other side of that fence, or to take that first step?
It's a tough question.
It's a tough answer.
My normal inclination is to lean on a quote from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Come on in, the water's fine.
Yeah.
But my experience, and I don't really have advice. I'm still a young cat. But I do know that in my experience in Relay for Life and MS-150 and stuff, it was sometimes difficult to get people to join the charge when there wasn't a line of sight, or to have that longevity where they keep coming in once they dip a toe in. And it's just as difficult to ask for money, which is one of the reasons I got into disaster response, because I was horrible at asking people for money. I was like, I just want to, I can do more if I just go out there and sweat it.
Right.
Sweat equity. And there's a certain negativity that's going around. There's a lot of bad news. There's a lot of disasters happening. Things are bad. And I would say resist the inclination or the propensity to say shit's fucked up, or go on the social media and say, yeah, it's fucked up, and do nothing about it. Talk less, do more.
Absolutely.
Get out there, because even if you don't have that line of sight and you're not going to get a quick, tangible, some kind of material reward or something, you shouldn't need any kind of freaking incentive. Just go out there and with a desire to learn.
Nike, just do it. And the other thing as well,
it behooves you and humanity.
Yeah.
Because these are the things that make humans human.
Yep.
Is caring for one another and creating that connection, creating the community, thereby through the connection, and helping each other on times of.
And here's one thing that you probably know the quote better than I, with and it's within Team Rubicon. You know, crazy enough to think that you can make a difference one person at a time or something like that. I don't know what it exactly is, but yeah, don't look at it big picture where, you know, apocalyptical, where you think you can't change something. You know, it is when you get in a small group, a task force, or you're at a service project, one or two people matters. You know, it just changes the scope of what you can do. Two people can maybe fix one classroom in a schoolhouse. 5 people can do 3 classrooms, or can take on a bigger project. And again, the thing that I would say is I think you need to be persistent, letting people know, you know, hey, just give it a try, And I think you could fall back on everybody that's gone to a service project or an operation, this kind of thing. There's blood, sweat, and tears while it's going on, but after it's over with, I would behoove any one person to tell me that they didn't gain something either spiritually or internally, or that they didn't enjoy themselves. Now, they may not come back for a second one, but by God, they've done something. You know, they've got that box checked on their humanity card, at least for that one time.
Yeah, and life happens. I mean, you can't go out there and be Superman or Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Every day and every minute of every day of the week. But it's about the culmination of good acts that determine. It's about the body of work. So a series of good acts that become a habit, and it becomes second nature, and eradicate the need for incentive and motivation, and let you act without that hesitance, in my humble opinion.
Yep. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And the other thing that I would say, as being the person that's trying to take that, encourage them to get off that fence, you got to lead by example. You know, everybody, whoever you're talking to, you should be with them on that first op, on that first service project, whatever it takes. You know, by all means, lead by example. And there's nothing better than being that guy that gets somebody involved, or, you know, talks them into it, or you know, convinces them to get involved, and then see the look in their eyes when they realize just how satisfied they are. You had it with me. I had it with the guy that punctured his grape down in Missouri that you spoke so eloquently of. And yeah, so that's what's cool about it, you know, is it, again, it if you can, and again, you're not, I'm of the belief that you can't talk somebody into doing something, or you can't coerce somebody into doing something that's good for them, for God's sakes. You know, that's not coercion, or that's not a bad thing. If it's freaking good for them and good for society, then you're not doing a bad thing.
You're not talking about me going to the VA again, right?
But, well, I should be, you know. That's still another thing. It's yep, no, and again, no matter what it is, no matter what you associate with. If you ask Ronin or you ask me, I can give you, we could give you our opinions on the groups that we're around. There's good ones, there's bad ones, but there's hardly a bad choice. Just get out and do something. And if you do one thing, it'll probably lead you to doing a second one, so on and so forth. Any final thoughts that you'd like to put into your own video?
That's a Jerry Springer trademark thing, so I can't do that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I can say final thanks.
Oh, boy.
I don't have any final thanks.
Okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to impart? Do you want to talk about any of these organizations that have been portrayed in the series? The award-winning
Yeah.
series, Two People Don't Give Us Two Shits About Riding in a Jeep?
Um.
You know what?